it's Alexei Borov. This is going to be a deck profile for my Last Warrior from Another Planet deck. Now, this card's a real cheesy card. Not many people know it exists, but it's really cool. It's when this card is special summon, destroy all monsters on your side of the field except this card. As long as this card remains face up on the field, neither player can normal summon, flip summon, or special summon any monsters. So as long as he's sitting on the field, no summoning can happen whatsoever, but you can still set cards. Now the entire purpose of this deck is to just make your opponent rage quit. It's one of those decks. So first we have the fusion material of Zimbriah the Dark, and something alien face looking dude. That's what we're gonna call this guy. So those are the two fusion material, but we don't stop there. We have Elemental Hero Prisma, which is when you normal summon him, he can count as either one of these two fusion material. We have Beast King of the Swamps, and his effect is you can substitute him for any one fusion material. There's Mystical Sheep, which, you guessed it, you can substitute him for any one fusion material. The Hex Sealed Earth Fusion. What this card does, let me just kind of... There we go. You can substitute this card for any one fusion material, obviously. The other fusion materials must be correct. By attributing fusion material monsters on the field, including this card, special summon one Earth fusion monster from your fusion deck. Wow, that's old text. Extra deck. Anyway, this guy's Earth, so what you could do is if you have Hex Sealed Fusion on the field, and you have either Zimbriah the Dark, the alien face-looking dude, or Prisma, you could just summon up the warrior from another planet. Then we have King of the Swamps, and his effect is you can substitute him for any fusion material monster, and you can discard him to add a polymerization to your hand. Next up is Fusion Conscription. What it does is reveal one fusion monster from your extra deck, and if you do, add one fusion material listed on that card from your deck or graveyard to your hand. But for the rest of the turn, you cannot normal summon or set or special summon monsters, or activate the effects of monsters that involve the card you revealed. So it's essentially like a setup card, pretty much. If you know you're not going to be able to do it first turn, which would be pretty rare in this deck, so use this card and you'll be definitely good for next turn. Obviously, 3 Polymerization. Next up is 3 Fusion Sages. What he does is you can add 1 Polymerization from your deck to your hand. Pretty simple. We'll talk about this guy in a minute here. We have Soul Charge, so in case, let's say you summon out your boss monster down here and he gets Torrential Tributed, something like that, you just summon him right out. Maybe you could use Soul Charge to summon Hex Sealed Fusion and one of the fusion materials, just summon another one. The possibilities are endless. Next up is Forbidden Lance. Since the only threat to your boss monster is going to be spell and trap cards, Forbidden Lance just helps protect him, and he's obviously not going to get run over by battle because no one can summon anything. Next up is Fusion Reverse, and what this card does is you can reveal one fusion monster from your extra deck and add one of the fusion materials listed on that card from your deck to your hand. Then you can add a polymerization from your graveyard to your hand. So this is nice. It's super plus no matter what. Next up is 3 Call the Haunted, for obvious reasons. It's pretty much the same reason as Soul Charge. You summon out your boss monster, he gets murdered in the face, so you just Call the Haunted and right the fuck back to your field. Now this card, Pot of Benevolence, you can take this card out if you're so inclined, but what this card does is you take 2 cards from your graveyard and shuffle them into your deck, and then you banish this spell card, but that doesn't matter. And the reason I play that is because most people, like 99.9% of people in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Play 40-card decks. And if you're also playing a 40-card deck, and you go first, which is what you generally want to do, and you're doing some deck thinning here and there, if it comes down to it, which it probably won't, they'll probably rage quit first, but if it comes down to it, you are going to deck out first. And Pot of Benevolence just kind of helps that out. So if you want, you could throw it in the side deck or just completely get rid of it. But I like to have it sitting in there. Alright, see you later, guys.